All right, welcome back, guys. See, we have another guest on the podcast, David Muir. I want you to kind of notice this place, and we're going to talk a little bit about this place that we're shooting the podcast right now. But just take a look, because I'll be showing you footage in this podcast to make you understand how important this place is in Miami right now. So, welcome to the podcast, David. This man, I'm going to tell you, this man is such an important man for the creative landscape in Jamaica. Like, let me wean back to a little while, because I think I met David probably like 15 years ago. Back then it was Flickr trips.
Yeah,
you
man.
remember that, David?
Absolutely.
So, the Flickr trip, I'm kind of embarrassed to talk about this.
No, man, that's just journeys we're on, so you can't embarrass, We all start somewhere.
The Flickr trip, basically, I went to this Flickr trip, photographer, and I left my battery. It's like the worst thing a photographer can do. Leave them battery. The camera can't work without a battery, so they leave your battery. But David was there, and David basically lent me a camera and a lens. I mean, I talk about that time, the lens was one of them professional lenses. I'll probably show a picture back then, I'mShango coming up. But that was such an important part of my journey becoming a photographer that I really want to highlight and give praise to David as a creative overall, because this place that we're at, we're gonna get into it, shows his creativity and somebody who believes in their art. So David, welcome again. I'm glad to finally have you on the podcast, and I want to make the people them understand who you are and why photography, creative is so important. So David, tell me why creativity or photography or just the creative feel is so important to you.
So Shango, again, bless and love. Thanks for having me on your program, and I love to see you on your journey. I would tell you that creativity is everything to me, because there's nothing that we can achieve in anything without showing in some way our creativity, or what I like to call our self-expression. Okay. So everyone brings something to the game, no matter what, no matter how you think. Many people consider themselves to be, I don't have a creative bone in my body, but it's not true. That is not honoring the creativity, because there's creativity in many different forms. In art, we have visual art, we have performing art, we have all types of people do art in dance, people do art in singing, people do art in painting, and there's many other forms of art, like what we do as photographers, right? So whether it is video in continuous motion, or we're doing still photography, capturing one moment at a time, all of these things are what we consider storytelling. And storytelling come in many forms outside of even what are called traditional arts. This museum is one of those things. We're telling a story here, and it's not an artistic story in the routine concept of art, because creativity is in this place, but it's not just about individuals' expression. This museum actually represents the entire Caribbean heritage, the entire Caribbean culture, and the entire Caribbean community. And in that, we have tons of creativity. So when you think about being a person with an expression is not just about what is titled as artistic. Creativity comes in many forms. It could be in somebody's writing style, somebody's speaking style, somebody's accent. All of these things are part of your individual expression, which is a part of one's creativity.
True.
Yeah, man. And so those are the things that we lean in. So when you talk about creativity, we have creativity in many things, even just the way we form our sentences. And this is part of our creativity. And so this is the things that we have to celebrate, because we are a special people.
Yes, the identity, as I can hear, the Jamaican accent, that is a part of our creative. And Jamaicans, we have given a lot to the world. That is a part of our creative expression. And let's talk about the museum, okay, you mentioned it. Island Space. This museum, and why this museum is so important right here in Miami, sharing with the diaspora, sharing with the Caribbean. So let's talk about this Caribbean Museum
Yeah.
and why it's one of its kind in the world.
So, without a question, I want to explain that I'm a Jamaican. I was born in Jamaica to Jamaican parents, to Jamaican grandparents, to Jamaican great grandparents. So, I am Jamaican. That's how I first identify as a human, as a Jamaican. But when you move outside of your small island home like I have, and we're in this greater world where people are going to want to classify you by how you identify, it is super important to own that I'm not just Jamaican, that I'm from a region that's the Caribbean. And therefore, when we decided to start this museum, it was to express and to share with many others what our shared history is, what our shared culture is. Because even though Jamaica is a former colony of England, and how you can go to the likes of Haiti as a colony of France, and you can go to the Dominican Republic as a former colony of Spain, and you can go to the Dutch, and you can break down all of these things. We all have a shared history. We all had indigenous people who resided in our countries, which were all of the Taino family. And then we had the Africans that were brought, and we had the enslavers who were there. And now that we have this whole entire history of what we are all doing together, that is a shared history, this museum is extremely important, because what it is doing is it's showing the world that there is a unity of a people from a region that is greater than just one island or a group of English-speaking countries or Spanish-speaking countries or French-speaking countries or Dutch-speaking. Like, we're going beyond the words and the language now. We're looking at the historical fact of how we all have very, very, very commonalities in terms of how we are all one from the Caribbean. And so when we are here in another land, it is easier for us to have a voice and to be relevant when we come together. And that's why the Caribbean Museum is so critically important. And even though we have the name Island Space, I want to point out that we specifically here are not unique to our desire to show people from the islands. It is from even those who are from Guyana, Suriname, Panama, Belize, and I can go on and on. It doesn't matter whether you are English speaking or we want to go to Honduras, or it doesn't matter, Panama, anywhere that we go, it's the countries that are adjacent to or touching the Caribbean Sea, being the unifying Caribbean Sea. So whether it's a mainland country or an island nation, or even the Bahamas, which is in the Atlantic Ocean, it is still part of our Caribbean family.
Caribbean identity.
Exactly. So I just want, we use the name island in the name, but it is really about the greater Caribbean nations, including those on the mainland as well.
True. All right, so as I said, the journey of a creatives take you into multiple different facets. Let's talk about this book. And while this is the latest version of the book, Pieces of Jamaica, there was a previous book. I actually had that book. I bought that book back then when David Muir was in Jamaica doing a book release, doing a book signing, and I got that one. I also got this one. I just got this one because I'm at the signing of this book in Miami. And let's talk about creativity as it relates to photography and capturing Jamaica in such a way that you can formulate it into a body of work. What is that for you?
Well, there's a lot I can say there. 'Cause listen, Shango, I just finished explaining to you about Caribbean unity. Well, I told you I'm Jamaican first, and I have not yet done a book on the Caribbean. I've been to most of the Caribbean islands. I have not been to everyone. But again, I born in Jamaica, and it's a part of, let them say, my neighbor string cut this up.
Yeah.
So it's a part of my identity. And so I want to share with the world how proud I am of my identity. And the people of Jamaica was the focus of my first book. If you remember,
yes,
it is a load of images of the people and showing what it is to see Jamaican people as a Jamaican. Not as someone who is coming and looking at people with servitude, or who's coming to look at people that can entertain them.
Yes.
I'm showing the people as who they are, because we are such a special people with such a great love, and the way we honor others and like you said, and express ourselves in these creative ways. Being Jamaican is special. There's a certain level of ingenuity that I felt I had to share with the world. That was my first book. This book is a much more complete work. So this book now, I had no intention to ever do, because I had said my piece about Jamaican people. But then we got to a point where, again, doing the work here at the museum, doing the work as I have grown and expanded, I realized that there's another side of the story that needs to be shared. And so this is now beyond just sharing about the people. This is actually sharing about all of Jamaica. So we literally meticulously took our time, and we wanted to show what it was to look at Jamaica, the land, just the beauty of the natural space that we inhabit. One. Two, to then look at the growth. What makes Jamaica? What brings people to Jamaica? What are the different attractions that express things to the world? And then, of course, we still have to revisit the people. We have to revisit the youth, looking at the future generation, looking at things that are attractive to tourists. And so this work is much more complete. It's a more fulfilling story about Jamaica, a land and a people and a culture, and what it means to the world to understand who Jamaica is as a nation, not just as the people now, but what it is as a greater body of what the entire island represents. So that is why this book came about. That is why we are in this place where we're launching another book 10 years to the month after releasing the very first book. And again, celebrating first Jamaica's 50th anniversary of independence, and now 10 years later celebrating Jamaica's 60th anniversary. It's not just about the anniversary, because independence is important, but it's not the only important facet. But it's just a perfect time to release another volume of work about this wonderful nation that I am from.
Amazing, yo. As a Jamaican, and one of the things about Jamaicans who live in Jamaica, we don't really travel the island. I think it's very similar. I think it's very similar to even Americans living in America. They don't really see the place. Now, I've skipped through this book and take a brief look. I look at it in depth when I go home. I see that you're showcasing a lot of the landmark, a lot of the island, the environment, so to speak. As I said, the first book you look at the people. This book you're showcasing the island at large. So you're saying this book, a person who, one Jamaican live in Jamaica, two Jamaican living outside of Jamaica, can get to, transport themselves by looking in a book like this. And with this body of work, as I tell you, I looked through it briefly. This body of work, really appreciate. I look at, there are some beautiful images in this book, like images that take time to cultivate, take time to create. Let's talk about the collaborative effort that went into this book, because when I look in the book, I realize that it's not just you.
Not at all.
Alone in this book. I think the last book, it was just you alone, I see, as the front runner.
Yeah, definitely.
This book,
I
realize that it's much more, it's a broader. So let's talk about how the collaborative process for this book happened, and talk about that. Like, just give me the vibe and the energy for that.
So the energy is that, again, I have a wonderful team that supports me in all the work that I do. And I say team that supports. Let me explain. So I have a business partner. My business partner and I run an entity called Island Syndicate. Island Syndicate is a company which is the publisher of this book, that is separate from David Muir, the artist. So the publishing company, which again I'm a part owner of that company, we endeavored to do this book. So we invested in this project as a business. So not only did we think about the pride that I may have, and my business partner who is also Jamaican has, but we also assembled a team of people with all the moving parts that needed to come together to do this. So we had people on the ground who were doing project management. So big up to someone like Kerry Chen. Kerry Chen is actually Courtney Chen's sister. I don't know if you know Kerry.
Yeah, I know her.
But Kerry worked intimately on this project from day one to get us to the right places at the right time, to make sure that we had all the things ready and in place to get the project done. And incredibly, as much as I would give up a lot of respect to somebody like Kerry as a great person, as a project manager who helped us to complete the work. She's also a brilliant writer. And a lot of the words that you see in this book is written by Kerry herself. She did a lot of the captions, a lot of the creative thought and feelings behind what is captured in the book can be attributed to Kerry. As an example, my business partner, who is Khalib Thompson, she's the publisher of this book. So as the publisher, she's the one who has the biggest role coordinating all the moving parts. So she's the one who would guide somebody like Kerry. She would guide me as a photographer, Sean Henry, who is my co-author, who is my best friend and has been my best friend for over 30 years. These are the people that all of them come together and had their various roles. This is a book of photography, but it also has Sean's paintings in it. So not only is it that you're going to see my shots, his shots, but also his paintings. And those are incredibly important when you look at the different artistical ways of describing and showing Jamaica. So, like we took pictures of Vale Royal, for example, which is a residence for the Prime Minister that is not utilized that way anymore currently. But so we took pictures of it and we didn't feel the energy from the pictures, the photographs that we took. So he painted it. And so in there you'll find a painting of Vale Royal that is his artistic expression of the space that we felt was more a way to show that space in its true artistic expression from us as a team. More to the fact is that I mentioned some of the people. Hannah is another team member of Island Syndicate who is not Jamaican. Is the only person I believe who worked on the project. No, that's not true. I was going to say the one person, but there's actually two others who worked on the project who are non-Jamaicans. So we have three people who worked on the project who are non-Jamaicans. Hannah is the only one that's inside my company who is non-Jamaican who worked on it. But those things bring also a different level of appreciation for somebody who is now on a project. She don't know Jamaica. She's never been to Jamaica. But she's intricately involved in making decisions about how we show Jamaica because she's giving us that other perspective as a professional in art and in publishing for us to understand, hey, this is how an outsider would view what we're sharing as Jamaica. She's also great at helping to build the research. So, I know that, somewhere like Rosal, Annie Palmer's home, and it have the Duppy Dem and all of these different parts, and that is folklore and knowledge from general just knowing and living in Jamaica. But somebody like Hannah now brings us to another perspective where she does the research and look into, well, how is it that this was what took place, and so we can accurately document the facts. So we have the facts as well as we have the warm story, as well as we have the imagery and we have the art. So there's so many different parts of the team to make this all come together. I could go on and on.
Whoa.
Because the team is not even just who I've mentioned so far, but I definitely would want to say that there are people that really played great roles and everyone was assigned their role, and then we all flexed the roles so that, today I could be just the photographer because that's my main relevance to the book. But I also have other perspectives to bring. And so we had lots of team meetings and continue to meet. Even though the book is now in print and in published, we still meet about the various ways that we're going to get the word out, how we're going to get the books into the hands of people who need to see the book. How is it important as an educational tool for sharing not only our culture, but then educating people about how they can view any culture worldwide. So there's so much to what you say, team. Man, I could go on and on about all of what goes into making the team, and that's what makes this product, even though it's another book of mine, and I love my first book, but I've done other work since, and I've been in other books since, but even though this now is my current work, I'm going to say this is without a doubt the most complete and the best project I've ever been on. That's a book project. Yeah, man, it's unbelievable.
Amazing. Very comprehensive book, as I said, and you can see the amount of work that went into this book, the team that come together to create this energy, because remember, everything is energy. You know what I mean? Everything is energy. So this is basically capturing a certain type of energy to put out so persons can feel that energy. So amazing book. One thing I love it when I talk to guests, we talk about what the guests do, but also we like to talk to the guests.
Yeah, man.
So how are you? How are you, David? Like, how are you doing outside of work? Just overall, and something just happened special earlier. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, man.
But
I'm all
David
about expression.
just proposed to his partner.
Yeah, man. To my queen, man.
In
Yeah,
Queen, like we're talking about down for not even 1 knee, 2 knee. That's how serious it is. So let's talk about life, because oftentimes we do a lot of stuff. We are so involved in, you know what I mean, work, but to live life, to enjoy life. And I know you're a man that you're always saying, enjoy life, enjoy life.
Every day, yeah, man.
Let's talk about just life overall, and like your viewpoint and how you express and live life outside of work.
I'm gonna tell you what's challenging about that for me is that my life is my work. And what I mean by that is I don't work a day. I love what I do. It is a joy. I give the greatest of thanks that I'm able to every single day do what I love and earn a living, that I don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay bills or how I'm going to enjoy life, because I've done enough that the work that I love to do, the thing that brings me joy, also brings me the various satisfactions that are personal, but also the satisfactions that are also financial. And it is a blessing that I have gotten to a point where I can now live free of everything. I don't have anything that holds me back. I am an open book. I speak my mind. I don't have to worry about the repercussions of anything because I am completely free of anybody. I've only worked for myself for many, many years. I want to say work for myself. I work for my clients. My clients pay my bills. But my clients love authentic me. And so when my clients love authentic me, this is the product that my clients will get, because this is authentic me.
Yes.
So not only am I sharing my love of my country through my book, I'm also earning a living, and I'm also genuinely spreading love. Like, this is an expression of love. So
Positive energy.
So when you ask how am I, Shango, I'm going to tell you real talk. I'm a blessed person. I don't know how to give enough thanks for the life I get to live, and it's the people around me that lift me up. Like you were mentioning, I proposed to the lady of my life, my queen, because I want to. She just told me before she don't need to be married because we live a good life together, but I want to marry her because I'm going to give her that honor and that respect, because I believe that's what we should do to people. In the same way I will give you, Shango, honor and respect. You said something earlier about, that I helped you, and I was just giving you honor and respect. You're a person who should be honored and respected, and that's how I carry that love to everyone. I don't have jealousy. I don't have envy. I don't have anything that is surrounding wanting to hinder somebody else's project or progress.
Yeah.
I want to see everyone lifted up. And so anything I can do to lift one up, I'm going to do that, no matter what it is, because that's how I live. I live on energy. And if I give to you, look at how you said 14, 15 years ago, I was giving, you're gifting to me because you're bringing me out to a public that doesn't know me. I know many people, and many people know me, and I've done many things.
Yeah.
But you're exposing me to an audience that is new to me, and that is the same karma coming right back around, flip right back onto. So I live every day in that spirit.
Yes.
I try to help people. People, when I was a young man, people used to complain to me, David, you work, you help too much people. How you can't make it? You have to be competitive. I don't have none of that in me. I want, even my best friend Sean, who is a part of this project, I just couldn't wait to make him a part of the project because I want to lift him up in the same way that his friendship lifts me up. And the same way that my woman lifts me up, I want to lift her up and give her back the honor to say to the world, she's the one that gives me that strength to do the things I do. So I am a man that lives in joy and in total positivity every single day.
What me I hear
Yeah,
is abundantness.
Yeah, man.
So remember, you have scarcity and you have abundant mindset. So you are living an abundant, because the person who lives in the abundant mindset, there's nothing to fear. You know what I mean? You don't have to hold on to anything. You don't have to feel like if you help this man or if you teach this man how to do something, it's gonna end your progress, your work.
It's gonna lift up the two away.
Exactly.
Always.
And the reason, after you just said, I'm listening, I'm saying, this is a type of energy that we would like majority of people to understand, that while you're in a creative space, you don't necessarily have to compete. What you want to do is to make everybody come together and complete the creative space. So instead of you compete, you complete the creative space by coming together, teaching one another. Because, listen, if everybody get better, the space get better.
Absolutely.
I've always been somebody who is saying that in Jamaica. Like, I remember being in Jamaica and trying to do wedding photography, and everybody me reach out, the biggest people who me really respect, me reach out to them. They're like, wedding. I'm like, bro, like, you don't know me. You might consider me, but I can't know one of them guys who will pick up things fast. But I am not trying to compete. I've never really tried to compete. I just do what I can do, and that's how I believe most persons do. I can learn from you. I can go and learn online. I can learn other way, and you still figure it out. So a man like you know, who very willing to share the information, will have to give a whole heap of praise and a whole heap of respect, and I just say honor.
Yeah, man. And you know, because no praise, you know.
Yeah, when we say praise in that way,
all I want is that when I give an honor, I can get back an honor. That's it. Nothing more than
honor,
that. We don't
respect,
want nothing
honor,
more than
respect,
that. Yeah, man.
I remember I think we went to Portland.
Portland, yeah, man.
And that Portland trip, as I said, I went there. I never had my battery, and we were talking about professional camera. I think it was a Canon, Canon with definitely a Canon, because a Canon have white lens and that big 70-200 lens, and man. I was really like, you know what I mean, like that was my first time holding that level of equipment,
right.
And you never did like feel no way of saying, yo, Shango, go and use it. You know, some man, they be like, yo, we're not gonna give him this expensive equipment to use. From that time, I understood that you were a different level, you know what I mean? And that time you were traveling back and forth. I guess you were probably working even on the first book.
I was working on the first book,
them times, and it's a joy to know that, you know, we can dare a talk, because one of the things with this podcast is that I want to share stuff that can inspire, and I believe that you are very inspiring. You know, I say, you know, I try to gain the praise or whatever, man, but at the end of the day, if a story can uplift a next youth, if a story a youth can look at it and say, yo, so David Muir do it, you know, museum in America, you know, couple books on them belt, you know, who knows, maybe I can formulate my body of work and make a book myself. So we really want to expose and put this in front of people like my audience. You know what I mean? My friends, most of them are photographers. Some of them already know you, but some of them probably don't even know you, because even the other day I was talking to one of the next photographers, I was talking to Joel, and Joel was saying, yo, Flickr Trip may exist again.
No, I wish.
Bro, like, and I can see it even sometime in the younger photographers, even though I really see some of them kind of group up and stuff like that, but majority of them, they're by themselves, they're not being mentors, so to speak. And one of the things we were talking about too is even pricing. People don't know how important that is in mentoring a youth that is coming up, because if he don't understand what's going on with the pricing, then he's just gonna choose to price it how he wants to price it, and then that downgrade the business of photography itself. So, bro, like, it's a joy for the year. And one of the things that I want to talk about is, you know, even how you just honor your queen, and, you know, at that level of respect, or that level of the honesty where you show it in front of everybody. Say, yo, listen, this person has been here for me, and me I make sure know, say, yo, I got dead for you. On the level, you know what I mean? So it's a respect, and as I say, she, you know, like, oh, no, we don't have to do that, but a big man level that when you say, yo, we are married, yo, same way. So, brother, it's a joy. It's always when we get to talk to the people them who inspire me, and people who, you know what I mean, like when we are come up, them help with, so to speak. As you say, you were just doing what you do. That's just who you are. It's not like, yeah, go out of your way. You never say, oh, I gotta just give him the camera fee, him be whatever. But one of the things that I like to even ask when it comes to even this podcast, like, what would you say, or what would you say to like a young photographer, a young creative, or a young entrepreneur? Because all them steps there, what would you say to them when they're going on their journey? Because this journey can be rocky or rocky at times, like difficult. As an entrepreneur, it can be very, very difficult. You kind of have like strong mental to go through. What would you say to them?
Well, the most important thing I could say to anyone is that you have to follow your passions. 1, 2, don't give up. And even when it's rocky and real rocky, because we all go through it. I've been through the most rocky of things. Even, for example, as someone who does photography for a living, we would just go through the pandemic, and most all of the work that you would have had disappeared.
Whoa.
And there's no way forward. You have to what they call pivot. You have to think about ways that you can forward yourself, and there's no end to that. So know that we all go through hard times. Doesn't matter who you are, and even though my hard time may feel different to you than your hard times feel to you, just know that we all go through hard times and we all have to overcome them. Continue to pursue what you want. Believe in yourself. It's really important you believe in yourself, and that you find mentors. It could be younger than you, could be older than you, could be same age as you, who can help to guide you in the different aspects of business. So that it's not just about, I know it all and I'm going to follow my own dreams. That you have a team of people or a reservoir of people who can help to guide you, so that when you are doing any project, any endeavor, you can explain it to them and they can bounce it through them and come back to you and say, well, have you thought about this? Could you go in this other direction? Those are the things that can help you to build up yourself and to move forward even greater. And again, no man is an island. Don't try to go all on your own. Partner with people to find ways to make yourself better. I know that I am a good photographer and that I can do a lot of things on my own, but I have built a team around me that makes my work more valuable, because I have input from others that bring different perspective. So I can genuinely say that I am as successful as I am because I have embraced having others to help me to get to a better place. I could get so far on my own, but if I have 4, 5, 10, 20 people who are helping me to improve my product, then my product is going to be better. And that's really the goal, to be at your best. And so those are the reasons why, for example, I bring my best friend, Sean, to the project, because he makes me better. He was there with me when I did my first book, but by bringing him as a part of the project, he has a bigger voice and a bigger way to make the project a better project overall. And that is one of the most important things that we can teach anybody, is that don't just depend on yourself alone, because while you can do great things on your own, you can do greater things when you have more people to help the process to go further.
So right now we're talking to Sean Henry. He's the other person who is a part of this book, Pieces of Jamaica, Jamrock edition. You see me talking to David Muir. What's your involvement, or how involved are you in this publication?
I'm very involved in this production. In this production, I did pretty much 90% of the aerial photography. Right. So throughout this book, you will see a lot of different angles and vantage points from which we shot, and that's my responsibility, as well as some of my artwork. I'm a painter, graphic artist, a multimedia visual artist is who I am. Right. I used to the T-shirts, and now much of my work is painting. So some of my paintings are featured throughout this book.
David was speaking about, the paintings that are in this book. As I said, I haven't gone through the book as yet, so I can't really speak on the book itself comprehensively. I bought one of the book at the event today, so I'm gonna really check out the book and really look at the paintings and stuff like that. But while we're talking about this book, let's talk about Sean Henry overall as a creator. Let's say, as a multifaceted creative, you are versed in different areas. Let's kind of unpack who you are as a creative, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, I've loved art all my life. Growing up, it's one of my early passions, and it's just part of my life. Art is life for me. I come from a family of artists, you know. So my uncles, my aunts, they're artists, you know. So art is intricately my life, you know. Graduated from Kingston College, you know. I had a really great teacher, Mr. Warren Chenshui. Much thanks and appreciation to him, you know, one of my mentors. And then from there I went on to art school, who had a number of other great tutors, Alison West, Kadian, what you call it, to name two, but David Dunn, Ike Dodo. Some of the names are kind of eluding me.
Yeah.
He was an African. He a very good graphic tutor. You know, Robert Archer. There were many good tutors we had at the art school. You know, now the Edamani School of Visual Arts. And then after leaving art school, I went on to start my own business, which was Aya Limited. Or Aya Designs back
That's
then.
the
T-shirts.
Yeah.
So I started with airbrushing and screen printing, which I'm still doing today. You know, so I screen print for all the corporate companies in Jamaica. You know, if I start calling names and leave out somebody, you know.
No, you don't call names.
All
let's say a lot of them.
A lot of them.
But that's a huge portfolio, and we're glad to see your involvement in this. And as David mentioned, you were very involved in the previous book, but in terms of like how it was presented with him basically being the forerunner. I'm glad that you got the opportunity to be presented as a co-author for this book, where your images in there, your biography, your identity is being represented in this book.
I mean, the first book, you know, even though I might not get as much acknowledgement, David did acknowledge me if you read the acknowledgements and stuff in the book, you know, which I'm really appreciative of. But you know, we worked on that book together, and pretty much it was he and I and a small team. But this book, we had a bigger team, and we allowed them more leeway. So it's, even though it says, you know, David Muir and Sean Henry, it's a team effort.
Yes,
you
he
know?
was telling me, say it's a really collaborative process.
Because, you know, even the choosing of the photographs to go in this book, I mean, there were thousands of photographs that we had taken. And, you know, it's one thing, if we were choosing pictures to go in the book, I would probably still be choosing. So, and it couldn't come out all now. So I give thanks for those who, you know, made the decisions. You know, I mean, there were one or two that would say, hey, no, this one have to go in. You know?
Yes, this one important. It has sentimental value.
Right.
So this have to go in here.
Yeah. But, you know, this book is a team, you know, of which I'm grateful for. And also, because I run my own business, which is a small team, you know, having worked with a bigger team, you know, it's also letting go of your baby and sending it out the road.
Plus, these things are growth. Because oftentimes we come out of our comfort zone. You're working a small team for a while, and you're working a bigger team. You have to delegate or let go of certain things that you would hold on to because you normally work in a certain type of space. So oftentimes these things help us to grow, because now you have that experience to work with a bigger team. So if you get on a bigger project now, you're like, as a project, I know what to do, I know my part to play and stuff like that.
When you keep doing things that you know, you don't grow from it. It's when you do things you don't know.
Exactly.
It's when you grow, you know?
Yes.
So for me, this is new, and, you know, and stuff. And a lot of people don't know me as a photographer. Right? Even though at art school, my specialty was photography and visual communication, with photography and packaging.
Okay.
Were my specialty.
So you say most person know you for the t-shirts and basically the painting.
But you know, and while at art school, you know, I studied under Donette Zaka, who is a great photographer down at Jamaica. Yeah, man, hats off to her. You know,
Brother,
much appreciation.
for give you a whole heap of blessings. You know what I mean? As I said, you know, we met in Jamaica before. I've seen you many times in Jamaica. Even sometime when David would come to Jamaica and normally see you around and stuff like that, and we know you are putting in the work, and this is a culmination. This is basically one of the reason why you'd have put in so much work. I see you multiple times, I say David, and we never even know that this book was being worked on. You know what I mean? I say David, man, come through sometime. I'm like, yeah. But see your work on a complete. As I say, I looked through it and I saw some of the aerial shots that you're talking about, and they are really good. Like the lighting, everything. I know that some editing went into it, and I mean, look really good.
Somebody asked me, you know, say, boy, you know, how long or how much they know what it takes to produce a book of this nature, and they realize that, you know, it's a lot of work. And they asked me, how is it working on this project? And I said to them, well, it never really coming like work, you know. It was a joy, it's a pleasure, you know. And I said, what's it working like working with David? I say, it's not work, it's pleasure, you know. When David and I get together, it's just
two brothers
having fun. You know, from DJ days, from t-shirt days, you know, party days, you know, it's just, we're older now, so this is a party. This is
it's a new type of enjoyment. This. Go out there, capture some images.
So I just encourage people for, you know, buy the book and see the joy, feel the joy, you know, that we put out into this, and hopefully can extend and please their hearts as much as it pleases us putting it.
Yeah, man. As I said to David, this is a necessary energy that needs to go out in the earth. This energy, the culmination of this, the images inside this, the words inside this, the formulation of this is a certain type of energy that you need to put out in the universe, so the universe can receive it and people can be inspired by it. Photographers alike, creatives alike.
Yeah, man.
Anybody basically can be inspired. Persons who is a part of the diaspora, persons who are not a part of the diaspora, a person who want to see Jamaica, literally can see Jamaica. They can feel Jamaica. They can touch Jamaica through this book.
It's love, you know.
Love.
What you call it? You know, a lot of our people never know say them beautiful because them never see themselves on a magazine cover. There was a time.
Yeah.
You know, because my mother was a dressmaker and certain little fashion magazines she buy. I never see people on it that look like us. You know, your color, my color.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need to feature ourselves and love ourselves, and that is what we are doing with this book. Positive
movement, positive work, and we definitely gonna have some links so persons can also check it out. Go to the website. I think it definitely will be on Island Space, and I think Pieces of Jamaica have its own website also, so you definitely can check out this book, and I would implore you to purchase this book for sure.
For my work, my paintings and stuff, for my website to see my work, they can go to SeanHenryGallery.com. You know,
I'll put all the necessary links. So you have Sean Henry galleries.com or gallery.com. You have the pieces of Jamaica.com. You have Island Space. You have I'll put all the links in the description so persons can check out all the necessary persons who were involved. All the links will definitely be in the description. And Sean, bless up yourself. Is that what I say?
Shango.
From a Jamaican to a Jamaican. It's always good to talk to a fellow Jamaican and share my platform, so to speak, with a fellow Jamaican, so we can expose my audience. Because me preach, I expose my audience to the person, I'm also expose the person to my audience. It better if you have two and for clap.
Definitely.
That's a Jamaica thing. And two and clap
Two
better.
and clap better than
Two
one.
and clap better than one. So
Absolutely.
the more people you can bring together, the more you can bring a group together with a focus idea, something that you're trying to accomplish. If you can bring in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people and them work on that project, it can become a better project than you sometimes struggle it by yourself. David Muir, big respect.
Oh, man,
Big respect. And
love and honors, man.
even this event, come here today, enjoying the event, looking at the museum, seeing all that you guys have been working on. Amazing museum. I would implore anybody who can come and check it out. Come and check it out. Island Space.
Well,
Broadway.
listen, we're in Broward County, but it's
Yeah.
in the greater Miami area. So we're really next door to Miami. But if you go to Miami, we're around the corner. So
Yes.
feel free to come over. We'll
So-
love you wherever you are.
Just check it out. As I say, I've looked around. I'll be showing footage so you can see what the museum itself look like and the work that is in the museum. Respect, bro.
Respect, brother.
Respect.
Love and honor, man. Yeah,
really,
man.
really, really, really glad that we got to sit down and have this conversation. And peeps, more videos like this will be coming where I talk to more people who I know, because as it is right now, I can get the people who I know to come on the show, but I hope to expand it to persons who I don't even have, no interaction with, but just want to share their stories, because this channel right now is about sharing a certain type of energy, a certain type of vibes, a positive energy, trying to inspire other people, so to speak, inspire them to become a better self. And how I see self is not an individual,
No.
the greater self,
Yeah, man.
human being overall. So
Love.
respect,
Bless and love, my brother.
blessings, brother,
Yeah,
blessings,
man.
blessings, guidance, you know what I mean? There. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.